I feel like all the signs are there for us to have a new iconic birthday moment in Big Brother. Let's get into it. If you don't want any BB28 live feed spoilers, now would be a good time to scroll. Today is Monday. It is also Angela's birthday, and it is the veto meeting. And as of right now, the plan is for Devins to use the Diamond Power veto on D and then in turn nominate Kamu. As part of this whole plan, Angela and Dee are also supposed to use their veto nominations or their veto speeches to Yash to just roast and throw Kamu under the bus. This has been Devins' part of the plan for a while. I just think that all the elements are there for there to be a big blow up after today's veto ceremony. I'm very excited for it. Last night we did have a new alliance finally officially form. This is basically FAP plus the icons. They have formed and they are calling themselves the Mosh Pit. It was named by Mallory. And we also yesterday had another new alliance form. It was Lala, Yash, Taylor, and Kamu, and they are calling themselves the Covenant. I think that this is just none of them on the other side see this coming. Even most of the people in the mosh pit don't know that this is going to happen. When they formed their alliance and had their first alliance meeting last night, it was a lot of talk about like, we've got to keep Dee and Angela hyped so that one of them can win the blockbuster. And as long as one of them wins the blockbuster, we can get Haley out this week. So a lot of talk about how they wish that they could get Kamu out this week, but saying that there's absolutely no way that that can happen. So they're going to be just as surprised as well. I am just so excited. Earlier in the weekend, Kamu had mentioned how badly he just wants to drag Dee. He's mentioned having a tea party part 2 for Dee specifically. So I'm not expecting for Kamu to not join in on the festivities today. And I just think that we're going to see a lot of fireworks today. And I, for one, am very, very excited for it. I can't wait. Will Angela's birthday actually go down in BB history? Let's chat all about it. So in my update earlier today, I said today had the potential to go down in BB history as there's been some pretty memorable birthdays in the Big Brother house. I do not think today is going to be one of them. Devins did in fact use the Diamond Power veto today. He saved Dee from the block and he in turn nominated Kamu. And I thought that this was going to cause a little bit of a ruckus. Maybe not anything too extreme, but after all the chirping Kamu had done over the weekend and even just the past like 12 hours prior to the Diamond Power veto being used and wanting to have Tea Party Part 2 to blow up Dee's game, he'd been talking all this smack on Devins and how much he doesn't trust him. I really thought that he was maybe going to stick to that plan. However, I guess if he doesn't spend 3 hours rehearsing a speech, he can't come up with anything on the spot. So because of that, the feeds have been pretty dull post-veto meeting. Yash did not use the veto at all, and Yash has tried to play a pretty cool post-veto meeting. He has said that, these things happen in this game, and he doesn't take it as a hit. He takes it as just like gaining information. I think mostly he's insinuating that obviously Dee and Devins were working a lot closer than what he had expected or assumed they were. But he's kept it pretty cool, pretty chill. Him and Devins have even played bags this evening. And overall, he's kind of just telling his allies that they just need to keep going with the flow of the week, but ultimately they need to make sure that they save Kamu. Melody, Mallory, Barrett, and Drew are not going to be on board for that plan, and they've been trying to figure out what way they can best navigate this week. Originally, Mallory and Melody had talked about how they're just going to act like they're kind of up in the air this week. They don't really know, and then last minute they'll let Yash, Taylor, and Lala know that they're going to evict Kamu if he loses the blockbuster. However, now they've decided that they really think that their best bet is just convincing Yash, Lala, and Taylor that the best move is to make sure that Haley or Kamu are split up this week, and mostly making sure that Kamu is the one to leave if it's Haley and Kamu on the block at the end of the blockbuster. So their tactic for doing this is basically just talking about how good Haley and Kamu are in competitions, telling their side of the house that they all have winner potential or have already won something, and they don't really need strong competitors staying on their team. And now is the perfect opportunity for them to be able to get one of these two strong competitors out of the house and not get any blood on their hands in doing it, since this was Devin's move to nominate Kamu. Mallory has definitely had this conversation with Taylor. She seemed somewhat receptive to the idea, but we'll just have to see how the rest of the week plays out for them. After the veto meeting, Kamu and Dee did have a quick chat, but it was pretty much just this is why I don't trust you, you're wrong, like just lying to each other back and forth, and then also telling the other person why they thought they were lying and this and that and the other. Just a lot of placating between the two of them. There is no way that this helped their relationship in any form or fashion, and honestly it was kind of funny to watch. But the thing that I have found most interesting today has actually been between Melody and Mallory. I think it was Saturday night that Dee told Melody about her power and how it's used, how it works, that she offered the bribe to Yash and he turned it down. And since the veto meeting, there's been a couple different conversations that have just been Melody and Mallory is kind of like speculating that Dee has a power. She thinks that the power that she has is an HOH takeover and that she was not expecting to hit the block this week and therefore didn't activate her power. Now, every time that Mallory brings this up, Melody does not correct her, does not confirm that Dee has a power or anything of the sort, just is basically like, oh yeah, or like asks how the HOH takeover powers work. But I just find it very interesting that they have been working closely together throughout this whole game. I know week one, when Mallory was kind of in a sticky situation, Melody was going to kind of, distance herself and kind of leave her high and dry. But ever since Mallory won that power veto, they have worked extremely close together. They have shared tons of game information together. And I find it very interesting that Melody is not sharing this information with Mallory at all. I'm curious to see if this comes into play anywhere down the line or if it has no impact at all. But I definitely think it's something to take note of. I did hear someone say just a little bit ago that it was actually the FAP. The FAP people said that they need to have a rock ceremony tonight because it'll be their last night to do so before the blockbuster. So they will be having a rock ceremony tonight, trying to manifest that Kamu loses blockbuster and walks out the door on Thursday. So we'll see if maybe things heat up a little bit once they're all locked inside. Of course, I will be here to let you know if that happens. So make sure you hit the follow button and let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments.